Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome into the Auburn Blitz. 256-234-6221 is our phone number each and every hour during the lunch break. Hope you're out there. You tune us in here on the Auburn Blitz. Give us a phone call. Your thoughts as the phone lines are open the entire hour of the show this morning. Again, 256-234-6221. Thank you for finding us on all of our social media outlets out there. Jim, don't know if you noticed, but got a new Auburn Blitz outlet that we're working through. Not only Sports Blitz, but you can find an Auburn Blitz Facebook outlet. We'll have some new Auburn Blitz Twitter and YouTube outlets that will be coming online shortly. So find us there. Communicate solely as Auburn fans. You know, our Sports Blitz programming is a little back and forth. We got our good friend Luke Robinson and Andy and Brett and myself and you, Jim, that like to do a little back and forth on that side. But this one's truly an entire Auburn show each and every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. So find us on that Auburn Blitz outlet. Glad to have you here, Jim.
Yes, sir. Good day.
Midway through the season, wanted to do a little bit of the same since you and I didn't have the opportunity to yesterday to look at the SEC standings currently. Give a little take on if we thought certain teams would be here, which ones are maybe performing ahead of schedule, and which ones of us, because I will add the us in there, are performing less than expectation coming into the season. But your start, before we even run down some of these, which team right now do you think's way ahead of schedule currently on this SEC standings?
I mean, if I'd have said it preseason, I think that A&M is way ahead of schedule because I just didn't think the gosh, I can't think of his name off the top of my head now, the Duke coach coming in would have made that turnaround that fast. I mean, he's literally shown, just like taking Missouri. I mean, he took them to the woodshed the other day. He didn't just beat them; he embarrassed them. You know, and that's pretty impressive.
Texas A&M and their quarterback play's been good. It's been versatile. I think the same with Arkansas. Arkansas would be the one that I would point to, maybe even more than Texas A&M is. Arkansas defensively with Travis Williams really performing well. Forced a lot of turnovers at Auburn to pick up that win there. Their quarterback's dynamic, can run the football, can pass it down the field also, so I didn't really see that happening. So I think we're along with most out there, maybe pointing to Texas A&M and pointing to Arkansas. How about you? Which one of the teams do you think is performing a little ahead of schedule? As Texas A&M's currently 5-1, 3-0 in the conference, number 14 in the country. They've got Mississippi State coming up, LSU, South Carolina. They got a bye week, New Mexico State, Auburn, at Auburn, and then finish the season out with Texas. That schedule for Texas A&M's, that's manageable. LSU's talented, but LSU's got some of the same woes they've had for the last, so really since 2019.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was just really focused in on the LSU Ole Miss game the other day. The quarterback, can't even think of his name now, Nussmeier, I think it is, was less than 50% passing, 2 interceptions. So he sounded like he was having a Peyton Thorne day. But then right there at the end in the overtime, he throws one pass that needs to happen. I mean, Ole Miss literally beat them up and down the field. They just gave the game away.
And so, that is Ole Miss right now.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss, with great talent this year, really taking advantage of the transfer portal. So every year they've got to go out there and piecemeal a team together. They're not really working the high school ranks, and we can talk a lot more about that.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Give me your thoughts as a business person that you are, but as well as watching a lot of college football. If you piece your team together every year to be a team now, we're not talking about just guys you're going to throw on the field, a team, is this not a product, his losses in close games, not a product of guys not being well knit together? Because in high school, what we're doing, stacking classes, you got kids that are coming in, what is it, the top 9 or 10 is in the Class L of the state of Alabama. So those kids want to fight for each other and fight for their state. Does that make a difference?
I think that we're going to see in today's football, which is completely different than anything that we grew up in or have talked about in the past, we're going to see which type of recruiting is going to pay dividends in the future. And right now, I'm hopeful, but until Auburn transfers all of those great high school recruits into wins, then I'm doubtful that it's not that you can withstand the time that it's going to take to get there. Because I think there's a lot of Auburn fans sitting here pointing to go and going, you go out in the offseason, Cam Ward's the best option. You close the deal with him. You pay him what he needs. He comes in as a quarterback, and this team, with some of the pieces that are around, even though they're young, are talented enough to be in the football game. And we've been in all the football games already.
Right.
You know, you put, a dynamic playmaker in there like that, and then maybe I'd rather do it the way that Hugh Freeze is. That's my answer to it. Do I know currently if it's going to play that way, 3 to 4 years down the road, especially if Auburn, let's say, you asked me during the break before we came on air, how many wins you see left for Auburn? And I said, honestly, we could win them all, but I don't see but 2.
Right.
I would definitely point to the 2 home games outside of the Texas A&M game, which I don't think we win at home. I point to those 2 home games, and I think that we still should be able to beat a Vandy team at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Now, we could lose that one and win against Missouri this weekend. They're not world beaters. They just lost by 5 touchdowns at Texas A&M. So, yeah, they're a good football team that's won 7 straight at home, but there's no part of me that continues to look at Missouri and think that they're somebody that all of a sudden we need to start being worried about year in and year out. But I think that's where we are. Maybe we luck up and get to 5 wins. So my point to you is, how many years is Auburn fans willing to sit there and deal with that? That's
and I guess that's the back and forth of this question is a quality product that's just going to take you a few years to build worth waiting on? Or, and I get what you're saying, is we've waited those years and we still don't have the quality product.
Yeah.
Like, how is it going to play out? Or would you have a decent product that somebody's throwing out there every year? If you go the portal like Kiffin and get 9 wins a year throwing it out there that way, or you build it and then you all of a sudden have these 10-win teams or 11-win teams or even further than that, is the what's the old saying, juice worth the squeeze? Do we have to wait on all these classes to be that productive, or can we buy it?
No, I think that we're waiting right now.
Yeah.
The only way to buy it in the offseason this year is to go get the very best, and I don't know who that is.
Right.
But go get the very best quarterback on the portal. And that quarterback's got to be a potential Heisman Trophy candidate. Cam Newton.
Right.
Nick Marshall. Keep going, Cam Ward this year for Miami. You go get that type of guy with some talent that we've got at receiver and some pieces around, a couple of nice Hugh Freeze recruiting classes, then all of a sudden you may be able to advance that a couple of years. But it's still questionable right now the best way to do it, and I don't have a good answer for it. I thought Ole Miss may be on the right track with that. But they keep losing these close football games.
Right.
They don't seem to have a lot of chemistry.
That's
the culture. I've never been a Lane Kiffin fan. I don't want him at Auburn. I didn't want him at Auburn. I think I was very vocal about it. I'd much rather have Hugh Freeze than Lane Kiffin at Auburn in the lead.
I think he was in the same conversation we had before. We didn't want him and we didn't want Dion because it was the same atmosphere, a more selfish kind of look at me kind of coach than it is building a team.
So I'm hopeful. I mean, I do think that somehow we're holding on to these high school guys that we've got committed, which tells me that those high school guys are watching all of the snaps that these younger guys at Auburn are getting. I think we've had more true freshman snaps on the defensive side of the ball than any other Division I college football team. That's an easy sell. If I'm going out there after Naeem Alford, he's the next one on the board. Of course, Oregon's still really strong after him, and that matchup with Ohio State had to bode well for them as also. But I think that if it comes down to Auburn and Oregon late, if he decides not to go the Ohio State route, I think Auburn gets him. And if Auburn closes with the number 1 recruit in the state to go along with the other top 9 out of the other top 10 here in the state, well, maybe I think that's 8 out of the other top 10 in the state, as the defensive end, the edge rusher from Enterprise is still committed to Ohio State currently. But still would be an amazing run of talent here in the state of Alabama, and I'm still buying into that. I said that under Brian Harsin. I can buy into another rebuilding project. We have to, as Auburn fans, year in and year out, buy into a rebuilding project. But what I can't buy into is seeing us outside of, say, the top 10 or 12 in recruiting. But Hugh Freeze got us recruiting at a level we'd never recruited, unless Pat Dye, which was before you really watched it the way that we're watching it. I've never witnessed us recruit year in and year out the way that Hugh Freeze recruiting the high school ranks. Have you?
No, I mean, I think statistically that's what they were saying is this class upcoming, if he holds it together, will be the best class in school history as far as numbers.
Yeah, and as far as high-end talent.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
As far as, shoring up the borders of the state of Alabama, I would totally agree.
Even though some of our counterparts don't think it's very important that you go, they're recruiting at a national level. I don't think that matters. I mean, I think if you're getting 4-star kids in state, who's to say, just like we should have this argument about, oh, well, I'm going across the country and get a 5-star, I don't know, wide receiver so-and-so. Well, we just went to Alex City and got a 4-star kid in Malcolm Simmons that's outplaying all the 5-stars.
You got to hope that you got to be trusting of your coaches to go out there and be able to check out talent and know that they're picking the right ones. But Texas A&M currently number 14, Texas 6-0, 2-0 in the conference. They've got Georgia, which is going to be a major matchup. That on the road at Vandy no longer looks like a gimme, especially with Alabama losing there. Then they go to a bye week, Florida, then at Arkansas, Kentucky, and then at A&M. The Texas A&M game at the end of the season, if all things hold where they currently are, and they haven't played in quite some time, man, what a storyline that one's going to be, Jeff. Mm-hmm. Going to be a lot of fun. We're just now midway through the season. It hasn't been a pretty start for us Auburn fans, but nonetheless, we're hopeful as the second half of the season begins that Auburn can get things on the right track this week on the road at Missouri against a winnable, beatable Missouri team, but we'll see if Auburn can finish something off this week. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
This is Dr. Nilo, and for a limited time and in preparation for the holidays, we are taking on a few appointments. Call us today and reserve your spot at 256-373-8333 for your very special VIP $79 Winter Smile Extravaganza. Also, you can check us out online at smilecreator.com.
Get your appointment now with Dr. Nilo and Smile Creator of Alabama and Dadeville for this incredible offer.
The good guys at Alex City Marine are ready for your boating needs all summer. And now you can get up to $4,500 in rebates on our huge selection of new Landau Tritoons and sacrifice pricing on remaining 23 models. Alex City Marine also has a new fleet of rental boats for fabulous days on the water, whether it's service, new pontoon selections, or rental boats. See the pros the locals know. Alex City Marine on Cherokee Road in Alexander City or online at alexcitymarine.com.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dadeville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
let's get serious. Let's get Arctic Air serious. You want your car and truck to live longer, don't you? Well, it's about maintenance. Same thing with Arctic Air. You see the number at the bottom of the screen? Call them right now. Let me tell you something. You want to be comfortable? We all want to be comfortable.
GMC SUVs, GMC SUVs. On sale now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. The GMC Terrain, the compact SUV with seating for 5. And now discounted up to $6,500 off. The full-size GMC Yukons, discounted up to $9,000 off. Choose from almost 200 new GMCs. Get your best price every day on the lot or online at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile.
Jim, really difficult for a coach coming off of a bye week to have a whole lot to add to what we saw the previous week, but can kind of fill everyone in on fall break and the effort that was given last week. Maybe some of the players that have been dealing with some nagging injuries coming back to full form as the season moves on. I'm sure that you watched the Hugh Freeze press conference and maybe have some takes, and we'll run down some of his comments yesterday. But anything that really struck you about his comments right off the top that you weren't expecting to hear?
No, I mean, it's typical coach speak for a bye week. We got better. We gave them some rest. We let them go home for 3 or 4 days to kind of reset and reboot and all those kind of words. Nothing really, other than I saw one comment in there by another group that asked him about the 4th and 1 situation that keeps coming up, that people keep wanting to ask. And, that's one thing I do got to appreciate about Hugh is he's very transparent. If he's thinking it, he just says it.
He says he's not on social media.
Right.
Doesn't bother him. He's trying to give you a take. He's being honest with you. He was asked, Jason Caldwell, our good friend, asked him about, the miscommunication at the line of scrimmage on the 4th and 1. He went right back to, I'm not blaming him, but I'm blaming all of us that the changes that he made at the line of scrimmage maybe wasn't communicated the week before. And an offensive lineman may have seen something and added something to him in the huddle that shouldn't have been, and it was miscommunication. And you went through a whole segment last week on that play and how it looked like the left side of the offensive line collapsed and you were going to be in a good spot with Jarquez Hunter picking up that 1 yard needed. He really stressed that in the press conference, that he is going to be highly, highly, highly disappointed moving forward if Auburn's communication on a short yardage play or a key play in a football game, much like the interception for a touchdown in the previous game against Oklahoma, if we continue to make those types of mistakes. So, that was my one takeaway, that he didn't tiptoe around the tulips on that. He knows that we have made some plays that have cost some football games that the team may have earned if we would have just not made as many boneheaded decisions. And you can tell that that's something that they worked on and talked a lot about in the last week. Running down a couple of comments that we have coming in. This is from Jason, War Eagle guys. I haven't been on in a while, from East Bruton, Alabama, from our little family. Glad to have you on, Jason. Not a better football environment than Bruton, Alabama.
Oh, no.
And y'all have got one heck of a high school football team again over there in Bruton, Alabama, and T.R. Miller this year. If somebody gets through them as we head into the playoffs, I'm going to have to see it to believe it. I've been able to watch them a couple of times this year, and they're coached up as well as anybody, and always great high school football over there. Have you compared AU's offensive line versus a good offensive line such as Bama's? When AU lineman gets beat or play moves away from him, he stands there watching. Where good offensive linemen continue to engage the defense. How do we fix that? Your thoughts on the offensive line so far in that question, Jim?
Well, I don't think it's terrible. I mean, obviously you can look at our running. We're running the ball pretty consistently. We don't run it enough. Obviously, that was brought up in the press conference as well, that we're not a back such as what we got. We don't give him enough carries. But I also understand the other side of it is there's situations. You can't run him every play because you end up with a yard because people know it's coming. You got to run it, give and take, give and take. I think we're having to take more than we're giving, as far as take more passes than we are giving the ball and handing it, like on the 4th and 1. But to answer his question, yeah, I think you're still in what you've brought up several times, a development process with this line. We went out in the portal and got some people and pieced them in there. We've got a couple younger ones that have came up in our system, and we've kind of piecemealed a line together. I think once you get these classes stacked on top of each other and develop that group we've got, then they should be a lot better.
Coach Freeze continuously talks about Too Tall being out. I think that when he's in, the line's much better.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I read in. He doesn't throw any of the guys that move around and have to play different positions like D-Wade when Too Tall goes out, but he keeps hitting on that. And what that tells me is depth is still an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Quality depth's really an issue. The interior part of that line, including our center, is very good. He doesn't talk a lot about it, but you can read into his comments that he's really happy with the progression of certain linemen. Connor Lew, I think we all would point to as a pro. Very lucky to have him. Got to win some football games with him there at some point in time. That's how good he is. So I still think that it's going to take a little while. There's no rhyme or reason on why we recruited offensive linemen the way that we did at the end of the Gus Malzahn era. Into Brian Harsin and what he did overall, not only offensive line, but the way that he recruited from start to finish is still questionable. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that we got a long way to go there, but we are showing progression. And look, Oklahoma's got a very good defense. They didn't stop the run. Georgia has always had, under Kirby Smart, one of the best defenses in the country. You can point and say that they don't have quite as many NFL style players that are out there, or at least they're young right now. But I can point and say that Auburn didn't get stopped. We ran the football we wanted. I think the biggest problem that I have, and you can say what Jim said, and Jason has said on here as well, and pointed to down and distance being a reason that we don't take advantage of the run a little bit more, but Jarquez Hunter's averaging 6.8 yards per carry. He ain't touched the ball 80 times this year in 6 ball games. He must touch the football more. Now, do I want to see him Cam Petway it for 40 carries against someone that we don't necessarily need him? No, I'm not asking for that. But I am saying that anything less than 20 carries for Jarquez Hunter moving forward is giving the quarterback and giving that RPO system too much credence to not just turn around and give the ball to one of the best football players in the conference. Do you agree with that, Jim?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. There should be some plays as well that are pretty much just design runs, and you don't have that what happened on that 4th and 1. You just say, give him the damn ball and let him run.
Yeah.
Don't read it. Don't look over here and see this and move the back over, run the play, and let him. It's shown. I put the clip on here and we showed it the other day over and over. The long run he made in Georgia for whatever that was, 40-something, 50-something yards. When he turned a corner, there was somebody hanging on his back like a coat, and he threw them off like they weren't even there and just kept right on running. Players make plays. You got to let the kid make plays.
Yeah, and it sounds like Coach Freeze knows that.
Yeah.
And when they look back and they see some opportunities that were missed, and yes, you can blame it on some decision making that went on a 4th and 1 and a short yardage situation where too many in the box, you got to throw the football. At a certain point, I just wish we would just hand the ball to the best football player we have, and let's just live and die by that a little bit more than we have so far. And I think we will closing out the season. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin. Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin, comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We are your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout Central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell. There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
The results are in, and Game Day Men's Health in Auburn has delivered. The certified medical team at Game Day Men's Health wants to help you feel better. Text 334-209-3706 to set up your free testosterone check and consult. Results back in as little as 15 minutes. Tired of feeling tired? Text 334-209-3706 to Game Day Men's Health in Auburn. They make you feel better.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dayville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
A lot of comments coming through. You make sure to find us on all of our social media outlets. Again, new Auburn Blitz outlet on Facebook. Go find us there. You can watch there. You can comment there. Solely an Auburn outlet, no longer just our Sports Blitz that goes back and forth, along with high school that we talk a lot about on our programming, but Auburn Blitz, so find us. Let me run through a couple of more of these comments here. Is Hugh Freeze a better recruiter than a developer? Your thoughts? Let me jump in because, you know, as I listen to him talk and talk about some of his best friends in the SEC and Missouri's coach and others, and, you know, I'm thinking to myself, you know, you're giving them really the benefit of the doubt of out-coaching most other teams and how much weight you give to those coaches that not only recruit as a top-5 program, which I'm proud that we are, but are able to win football games when you don't have the talent that matches the opposition. I'm thinking to myself, well, Hughes, I mean, we don't seem to be winning football games. And I don't know that what you're saying is giving you any glowing remarks when it comes to that. Your thought, though, on that? I mean, the more that I watch, I've always liked Hugh Freeze's offensive philosophy. I like the RPO system. I like the ability to go out there and talk big-time NFL-style receivers to coming to your program, to go along with versatile quarterbacks that can at times make plays with their legs but are looking to throw the football down the field. I've always really enjoyed watching his offenses, but the more that I'm watching, my answer is I think he's a much better recruiter than he is a developer, and I'm not sure that that's not what you want right now in today's game long term. You stockpile enough talent and you coach slightly above average, you're going to win more football games than those that don't quite have the talent that we're going to hopefully have here in the next 2 or 3 years. Your thought?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I see that he said it in his own press conference that they went out and done self-scouting and saw that they were running plays that were unpredictable. They have receivers open. The numbers, if you look at our stats, they are showing. We're putting up some good rushing numbers, some good passing numbers. It's just not equating to wins on the board. I mean, I don't, as far as the recruiter versus developer, I think his offense is working. We just got to bust through that ceiling somehow of the turnover situation that's killing us.
Yes, but it's also a lot of questionable stuff from a communication standpoint, that whether you think that it's Thorne's problem or communication from the coach or who is actually the one making those calls or why the communication with the offensive line, there just is all – at a certain point, Jim, you've got to say, okay, so you're in the lead of that.
I got to throw one.
You're the coach.
I got to throw one to you then. Of all years for us to be discussing this topic, you got a damn microphone in their helmet now.
That's a good point.
All years.
Yes, a great point. I mean, I thought the same thing with the lost Cal. You know, at the end of that football game, Kelm Coleman's going off the field to our sideline. I brought this up a number of times on the show, but I'm going to bring it up again. He's gimpy. He is very gimpy. He is tapping the top of his helmet to come out. And we leave him in, and I'm actually talking to my wife saying he's just a decoy. We just didn't have time to swap somebody in and give them a chance to, make some replacements out there. We had to keep him in. I'm thinking that. I actually say it to her before we run the play, and what do? We run a go route right in front of our bench to Cam Coleman that's gimpy, that's got an arm shoulder issue. Some of those things make you scratch your head. And I know that that's a young guy playing receiver. It's a young staff. It's a new staff, but it's a staff that knows one another really well. So I don't have the answer to it, G, but I would question at this point. And I'm not sure that doesn't need to be the answer. I'll put it that way.
Okay, so here's the second part of that question for you. If you have a microphone in a kid's helmet, we all know that there's the availability to talk to him. Would you rather have a pre-programmed kid that you just listen to me, whatever I say you do? If I say throw it to the right, you throw it to the right. Or would you coach a kid that you gave him some little ability and said, okay, look, I'm going to coach you up to that 15 seconds. And if something shifts around, I'm going to give you the option to shift Jarquez one side or the other or move.
To me, the couple of things that we've done wrong, I wish we would have made a little bit easier.
Right.
You know, the interception across the middle of the field when Peyton goes on the last round and makes the comments that if he had that option again, he'd throw it to the same spot.
Right.
It lost us a football game.
Right.
Period. Oklahoma, I don't think, was going to drive the field on our defense late in that football game and win it. So it lost us a football game. I do know that it's a different day and age, but you do sense that there's a weird dynamic here also of a quarterback and the head coach saying different things at different press conferences, and they're not necessarily throwing the other under the bus, but it does feel like it. It does.
It gives you the vibe of the whole story's not being told.
It gives you the vibe of, are y'all not meeting?
Right.
And saying, we've all been around great coaches. I can only imagine some of the rough ones that I've been around. And you and I had the good pleasure of being around some very blunt, rough coaches growing up.
Absolutely.
And I don't even have to say names, but I can throw a few of them. I can only imagine me going to the paper, which was a different day and age. Not social media, but the paper back then. And semi-saying that if that call is made again, I know that it's wrong, but I'd make the same mistake again.
Right.
you feel like you would go into those media situations, especially in 2024, and you would be on the same page. Like, here's what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it like this. And I'm hoping you as the starting quarterback would go into the same media situation. We all got to do it. We all got to make a living. We all got to, build this program back up and be in front of everyone. But let's say this, and let's sound like we're all on the same page. So
right.
I haven't sensed that a lot this year. It feels like we're not on the same page from time to time. And I do appreciate Hugh Freeze not being Gus Malzahn and giving you some talking points. But it is still a little bit odd. John says, yes, I'm a Bammer asking this question. Other than 2 victories over Coach Saban, one of which can be said was fluky and good luck for Ole Miss, what specifically about Freeze do people point to as the biggest interest in him? Saying that, I thought he was better than what we are seeing presently. Next year, maybe the year, but I know Auburn fans are sick of hearing that. First off, John, amen. If I have to go into another year saying that I'm buying into a rebuilding project, I'm throwing up on this camera, and somebody else is going to have to come on here and host these shows, because I'm not, for the rest of my life, going to come on a program saying that I'm buying into a rebuilding project, because I'm not buying into a rebuilding project with Bruce Pearl anymore.
No.
Those days are over. Ken Palm comes out yesterday, by the way, Auburn's number 3, Alabama's number 4. Mm-hmm. Who in the world ever saw that happening? I never did. So we're not buying into it there anymore. We're there. Now, can we lose an opening round game and all be a little bit upset? Yes, but it's not a rebuild. There's a lot of positives that's going along with it. So, yes, John, I'm upset with that, and hopefully we don't hear it. But your thoughts, his questions on Hugh Freeze. Why is everyone still solid on him? Is it his recruiting? Has he always proven that he's a recruiter, and he's doing it again? I mean, that would be my answer to John.
Yeah, I mean, that's the proof is in the pudding, because he was able to recruit those big receivers at Ole Miss.
Yep.
Recruit some talent there. Tunzel, the lineman. He got guys in there that can play the game, and he's still doing that. And it's your point that you brought up several weeks back. I can stay on the boat as long as we're bringing in extra fish on the boat with us.
Yeah,
I'm getting off the boat if we got little minnows. That's all we're holding on to.
And he's doing that.
Yeah.
And I think there's more that he's going to get. And, he's holding on to them too, man. He is holding on to one. We're 2-4,
right?
And it's not pretty, and he's holding on. So, John, that would be my answer as an Auburn fan. I think that's the reason Auburn fans are willing to give him the benefit of the doubt right now. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We are your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
Dr. Lisa Daniel is now at Daniel Eye Care. Dr. Lisa Daniel has been serving the Auburn Opelika community for over 20 years. Dr. Daniel specializes in glasses and contact lens, children's eye exams, treatment of eye diseases, and LASIK consultation. At Daniel Eye Care, we strive to treat our patients as we want to be treated, with compassion, integrity, and personalized attention. Come see Dr. Lisa Daniel at 1955 Opelika Road or call us at 821-8889. Daniel Eye Care. Find your focus.
Fried chicken and wontons and teriyaki glaze and an egg roll. Some people think the Zaxby's Sensation salad is too delicious to be a salad.
Yep, that's why we call it a salad. The Zaxby's Sensation salad. Zaxby's.
Welcome back into the Auburn Blitz. Ty said, I think Auburn will win 4 out of the last 6 games. Ty, I think all Auburn fans right now would be very happy with 4 wins out of the last 6. Would you be? And if we were going to win 4 out of 6, we must win this weekend. Am I wrong?
Well, and I keep saying it, the dam's got to break at some point. We've had so many self-inflicted wounds that these interceptions, these fumbles, these timely, stupid us, whether it's the coach or the player or somebody, miscommunication, eventually the other team's going to help you at some point. Now, does that dam break this Saturday, or does it break in Lexington, Kentucky? One of the two, I think it breaks. We'll get a win somewhere out of those two.
Ty, we hope you're right. I'll take 4 out of 6. I'm a realist here. If we get 4 out of 6, it'll be a great close to the season. Mike asked, did Elliott City win last Friday night? No, Mike, they were off. So we'll play this Friday at Pelham in a region matchup. If it's not a must-win, it's close to a must-win, as Pelham's probably right there with us, right in the middle of the pack of the region. John said, what truly big wins other than 2 wins versus Saban does Freeze have?
I'd have to go look, John. I don't know Ole Miss's history that well, but, I mean, he's won some big games at Liberty. He beat some teams he shouldn't have. I think he was at Arkansas State. OC won some big games over there. I mean, John, I just have to look. I can't think of his history off the top of my head.
You know, still some good questions coming in. Make sure to continue to find us out there. We've talked a little bit about Hugh Freeze's comments. You know, a few of the takeaways that I had from the comments that we heard from him coming in was not necessarily what exactly happened during the off week, but him going back and grading the way that Auburn has played, and Jason's question that he had yesterday on Peyton Thorne and the quarterback play and what are you seeing, and had some pretty positive comments to make about Peyton Thorne, especially the last couple of weeks, and I would agree. I mean, he has made a few bad plays, but for the most part, even going back to the Oklahoma game, he's played good football and given us a chance to be in games where we could win, Jim.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of, like I just stated, I think that the dam has to break at some point. I mean, the kid has obvious, and I brought it up weeks ago. I went back and looked at every game as far as Thorne has played at Michigan State, And he put the numbers there, yes, but every big game he played in, it seemed that the pressure caused him to have a turnover of some type or multiple turnovers in that game. Even in the 11-2 season, they still lost to the Ohio State, the Michigan, the big games. They figured out a way to lose it, but they would win all the rest of them. And it's because he had 2 NFL receivers he was throwing to and a quality running back to hand the ball off to. So, yes, I agree with everybody in some fashion that he is showing better progress. He is played better in the last couple games, but somehow he didn't throw an interception in Georgia, but somehow we have a communication error that we don't just hand the ball off and do what we should do.
Yeah, and those were, questionable not only with the player that's out there making those decisions, but the coaching staff that, again, as you mentioned, has the availability now this year to talk to somebody up to 15 seconds left on the play clock in the headset. So how that's not helping an RPO system is beyond me. I would think of all systems, it would help an RPO system maybe even more than some others, but maybe I'm wrong by that. Your thoughts when it comes to that? The biggest takeaway, though, I had from his comments yesterday were the young guys, and when you're in a really solid culture and a solid program that you have the availability of watching 5 or so really good players that have great work ethic, that have been around the program for a long time, and the coaching staff can go, look, Malcolm Simmons, go watch the way that he handles his business, or Malik Blockton, there's Derek Brown over there. Go watch the way that he handles his business. And, it was a little alarming to me, and it makes me want to ask you this question, Jim. When he's saying that we're really not there aren't players around, there aren't juniors and seniors that he can point to and say, go watch the way that they prepare, go watch the way that they work like them, and you'll become them one day. Right. We think you've got that type of talent. Right. And, I'm not putting a little extra words in his mouth, but that was the way that I took it. Who are the leaders? Like, when you look at this team, we do point to a lot of the really young guys, not necessarily even redshirt freshmen or sophomores. I'm talking about true freshmen that we point to with some of the best work ethic, and the best things that we're hearing coming out of the coach's mouth are about a lot of the younger guys. It's alarming, but I guess it's to be expected when you had to bring as many transfer guys in and you lost as many guys as we did under Brian Harsin.
I think sometimes as an old coach, that question has to be answered by position. You should have somebody in each room, that at least one, if not multiple, somebody's to look up to. Like in that receiver room, KLS needs to be the guy every one of them's looking at and go, you went to Penn State and you dominated. Now you're over here and doing the same thing in the SEC. How did you do it? What steps do you take? How fast do you get out of that break? What are you reading? Malcolm Simmons needs to soak up everything that comes out of KLS's mouth.
I agree. But do you have concern that you're not hearing Hugh Freeze bring up a lot of the older players?
Yeah, no, to answer the rest of the question, that is the major point. If I go back and look at offensive line, what do they got to suck up? They should be trying to suck up Percy coming from Mississippi State, because he's played some ball games, but not. We're relying on a true sophomore in Lou to be our leader in that room. So you got a sophomore trying to lead that group. You got a couple freshmen trying to lead the receivers. I mean, right down the list. Now, Jarquez, I don't know how vocal he is. He should be speaking up a little bit.
Another comment that he said yesterday is Missouri will have the best skill position players we've seen all year.
Burton.
Yeah, they've got them. And that matchup with our young secondary will be what you'll point to on Saturday. But I like some of these young secondary guys for Auburn. Mm-hmm. I really do. Some of these young defensive players have played far better than I ever expected them to in year one. And that is a sign to point to that things are going to get better as we move forward. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sensi Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensigreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates. Visit sensigreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Go ahead and mark your calendars, sports fans. The Alabama State Games are returning to the Magic City of Birmingham, Jefferson County, and surrounding communities June 13th through the 15th, 2025. We're talking about 20-plus sports open to athletes of all ages and abilities. The 42nd Alabama State Games will be something to behold. Mark your calendars now and be ready to go when registration opens. Visit allagames.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more exciting announcements.
Let's head back to the phone lines. James, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're good, James. Glad to have you.
Listen, don't believe all that junk this man talking about. I mean, every team in America can say pretty much the same thing, all these rooter pools like Vanderbilt and Mississippi State and all of this. This man, what he's talking about does not have anything to do with him losing to these 4 or 5 teams that he lost to. That ain't why he lost, because he ain't got no leadership guy in the running back room or the quarterback or the offensive line room. It's about time for us to get past this. We ain't got nothing So therefore, we shouldn't be nothing. We got enough to beat them Ruder-Poop team that we played against. Oklahoma had the worst team in America over there. All these other teams that he played against, that he lost against, that was not because we didn't have enough talent. So for now on, I don't want to hear Jason Caldwell come on here spewing that junk. This is over with, man. The man needs to either buck up and win some football game, or he needs to get on out of here, because I told you I'm at the door. I'm still giving him a chance, but I'm tired of hearing all this stuff, man. I wish you'd keep some of this stuff to yourself. Nobody still ain't said nothing about when he said the team quit against Georgia. And then, Jim, you mentioned about the receiver said he don't want a red shirt. Now, is that true or not? They want this man a red shirt? Why don't you put him out there and let him play? Why don't you put these young guys out there and let them play and see what we know what they can do so they can get the experience for next year? Why don't you do that, Hugh? So, no, man, I'm tired of hearing all this. We ain't got this and we ain't got that. Well, we had enough to beat the team that we played against. Thank you.
Thank you, James. We appreciate the phone call. I'll let you give your first.
Well, yeah, I mean, to refer to what he was saying, I did hear inside talk that Perry Thompson and Bryce Kane were asked if they'd take a red shirt, and Thompson turned it down. So that's what I was referring to, that he was referring to.
You know, and I agree with James. You know, I said it 2 weeks ago, and I can buy in again because there's a lot of Auburn fans that want to see this game pass before we say, let's give these young guys a chance. But if I'm buying into a rebuild, I'm buying into a rebuild with guys. The only way I'm going with an upperclassman is if he's proven that he is way better than whatever we've got another option to put out there. Jarquez Hunter, way better than any other option we can put at running back. I like Damari Austin. I like some of the other guys. I like Jeremiah Cobb, but Jarquez Hunter is one of the best players in the conference. So play him. Run him. Give him the football 20 to 25 times a game. There doesn't need to be a reason that he doesn't touch it. But if you're some of these receivers, Robert Lewis and some other guys, no, sir. My eyes tell me that you're no better than some of these young guys. And I'm bought in again, James, amen. I've bought in again to another rebuilding job as an Auburn fan. We're closing in on 20 years of rebuilding jobs. Back to 2004. We have had a few seasons that we didn't even expect to not be a rebuilding job going in, by the way. Of course we didn't expect it in 13. 14 didn't go as well as we hoped. 18 didn't go as well as we hoped. So I won't count those two. But the rest of the year is a rebuilding project. Who's going to be the quarterback? You think he can play? You think he's up to the standard to take us to the next level? None of us knew what we had in 2010, so I'm dang sure not counting that. Nobody knew that Cam Newton was quite possibly the best college football player of the last 25 years.
No.
We didn't know that. I knew he was hopefully good, and we saw little glimpses of it, but I'm with James, though, on a lot of what he says. I don't want to say it as negative because I have to watch it. And people at times say you're a little too negative, Randy, but I'm so sick of buying into a rebuilding project. Jim, it's every year. It's every year I sit on here and we talk about we got to give them a little time. You got to allow them to build the culture. We got to get some of these bad apples out and get some of the good ones in. How long are we going to say that?
I don't know. I mean, I was a part of watching the Tuberville culture grow, and it grew just fine.
It did.
He won like 5 in a row against Alabama, I think it was. So.
6.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and he did the very same things when he came in. Some of the guys he had to keep because he didn't have any other option, but a lot of them he just ran right out the door and said, hey, y'all can find a different place to play.
And the problem is right now you'd probably only want to go and add how many from the transfer portals, the ideal number when you get a really good program built? 8 or 10?
That's what. Yeah, it'd have to be, and you'd only really be filling in cracks then.
Right now, we're probably getting 15 to 20.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's. I mean, James, I don't think we can be too rash on our decision. I think we are where we are, and basketball's right around the corner, my friend. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm wearing my Auburn basketball shirt to the football games at this point, and I'm going to continue to wear it until we prove that we got a football program that's worth cheering to the level I do basketball right now. For Jim Hardy, I'm Randy Lee saying thanks for tuning into the Auburn Blitz.